Coming to you live Monday night, Sage. It's around 6 o'clock. I think there's only one conversation that could be had with the Niners after they took on the Raiders. It's basically the injury conversation, Sage. Everything's been going on with the Niners when it comes to injuries. But before we dive into some of that bad news, how was your weekend, my brother?
My weekend was good, man. I mean, I saw a Niners win. I got a little bit of faith restored in my kicker. But other than that, like the news coming out, everything that's been going on, it's been a little bleak. It seems like every day we're battling someone new going down. So it was, hit or miss, depending on the hour. The weekend changed as the news came.
Sage, the thing with the Niners, too, is that it's almost like it's happening every day. Like every day there's somebody new going down. And even like for a practice, it's like, okay, we got like a practice where we maybe had the pads on for 2 hours. People are going down. So we wanted to discuss it because I think it's generally getting to a point where it's a realistic question. Like, are we concerned about the entire season based on the injuries that we've been seeing over the months? So, Sage, I'm just going to pose the question to you. You run wherever you want to go with it. Is there a reason to be concerned with the Niners right now for the entire season?
100%. 100%. Because history tells you in this league that when you start to get news that people get injured, it doesn't get any better. You think like, okay, get them all out now. Like we'll get it out early. It's not how it works. We pray that that's how it works, but in reality, that's just not how it works. We saw it last year. First, it was Christian McCaffrey. Okay, will he play? Will he not play? Week 1, they said if it was a playoff game, he's playing week 1, doesn't play the first 10 weeks. Then it's Ayuk. Then it's your O-line getting picked apart. Your defense falls apart. Dre Greenlaw doesn't come back till week 14, gets injured again. Fast forward to this year, it seems like it's rinse and repeat. But this time, it's all your young guys are getting hurt. The old guys,
I know,
they're still on the shelf. Like the guys who are at a high risk of injury haven't even played yet, and they're the ones who are healthy. So that's what makes me even more concerned. It's the young guys. It's the Jordan Watkins. It's all your rookies. CJ West is hurt. Your first-round pick, Micah Williams, is hurt. So, Chase, I'm very concerned. I mean, I'm not going to say it has a Super Bowl impact yet, but at this rate, at what I'm seeing early, it's starting to like really make me question, can the Niners really go the distance?
So, Sage, I don't know if you saw the thumbnail coming in, but we did throw a panic meter on there. If you had to put a number on it, right? Because it seems like you're concerned, but like a concern could be a 3 right now. But like, where are you at like with your concern?
Chase, based on what I said, the fact that the injuries are coming to the guys you expect to have the whole year, it's at a 7.5. It's still the preseason.
Oh, shit. We're going decimal points, 7.5, 7.5?
Yeah. 7.4 to be exact. I just rounded up to the half.
But that makes me feel a little bit better. Okay.
What's making me nervous is it's happening to the guys because you need your contributions from your rookies early, right?
Yeah.
Your number one receiver's hurt. Your veteran receiver is going to be suspended the first few games. You need big contributions on that D-line in the secondary. All these guys are hurt. We'll dive into it later when we go over our biggest concerns, right? But you have injuries everywhere for guys who need reps and need to, see the field. And if they're going to make an impact, if you're going to rely on these guys in playoff games, you need them to kind of go through their bumps at the beginning of the season, right?
They're going through their bump stage. They're getting fucking hurt. They're not even able to get on the fucking field. But I'll tell you this, Sage. I'm at a 5 right now. If I had to put a number on it, I'd say I'm at a 5. And the reason that I'm a little bit less concerned than you is because we haven't had an injury yet where it's like, okay, this guy tore his ACL. It's done, right? It seems like it's a bunch of injuries where it's a hamstring. It's a high ankle sprain. It's things that they're eventually going to be able to come back from. But Sage, I was doing some research. I just had to figure out, like, is there any other team in the NFL that has anywhere close to this kind of injury history with the 49ers? Not history, just this year. Sage, I looked at ESPN.com. How many players do you think are listed with the injury right now for the 49ers?
Off the top of my head, going training camp, I'm going to go 20.
28.
Yeah.
There are 28 players with an injury designation for the 49ers right now. Second on the list is the Indianapolis Colts. They have 19, Sage. They have 19. And I think it was 13 of the 28 are potential starters. So there are some people that are getting impacted that are actually going to matter. It's not just a couple bums that we're going to have to throw on the special teams. Like, these are guys that are actually going to have an impact on the team. Sage, the team that we played Saturday, the Raiders, had 3. They only had 3 people with the injury designation. So this is hitting the Niners harder than everybody in the NFL. I don't know where we want to go with this. Do heads need a roll? Is it a Kyle Shanahan issue? Does somebody need to be fired? Like, because we've seen this before. We saw this in 2020. We obviously saw it last year where basically the season was over before it started because everybody was getting injured. And it wasn't even anything on the field. It was just like, okay, we don't have the people available. All our studs that we're relying on, they're going down. They're out for the year. So we couldn't be a Super Bowl contender. Does somebody need to be blamed for this? Or is this just bad luck?
Someone has to be blamed. It can't just be a coincidence. It just can't be a coincidence that every year you're the same. It's the same story.
2023, we're healthy though, Sage. We were money 2023.
Chase, you ever hear the story about the rule versus the exception? It's sad to say, but that was the exception. That wasn't the rule with the 49ers. I can go back to that Warren Sharp tweet where since 2019, other than 2023, they've been top 7 in injuries per team in the entire NFL. Like, it's not a coincidence. After a certain point, it's just not a coincidence. I can't, what is it with Shanahan? People are saying, because everyone's going to speculate, they don't stretch.
It's getting weird now. It's getting weird. People are looking at the stretches. It's like we're not stretching enough. I don't know about that.
To be honest with you, I just think it's the personnel. These guys aren't coming into camp ready. I just think that they enjoy their offseason a little too much. Oh. They work hard. The thing is, right, the Niners typically go far. I mean, this year, there's no excuse, but I just think it's on the players. They're not coming into camp right. They're not getting themselves right, which is,
Mike, yeah.
Is it on John Lynch? Is it on John Lynch? Is it on the guys you're drafting? You're drafting guys who are historically hurt. That's how you're getting these values on them. But I don't know. This is one of those things where it's you can't really, there's no scientific formula that's going to get you to an answer. So you're just going to yell at the weather. You're going to blame everyone. You're going to blame everything until something changes.
Yeah, Michael Williams, I think it was about a couple weeks after he got drafted by the 49ers. He's hitting up Trent Williams. He's like, hey, can I take the PJ to go out to Cabo? Maybe you should worry about getting ready, get set for, OTAs and training camp, and don't get injured. But what I will say, so Dustin Perry, Sage, this is a guy that's going to get under the most questioning right now. Head strength and conditioning coach since 2019. The only thing that I could really get about his strategy when it comes to getting people set up, heavy on squats, heavy on deadlifts. That's all I got, though. I don't know. So it seems like if we had to blame somebody, it'd be Dustin Perry. I feel like it'd almost be like a Mayan kind of situation where it's like, okay, we're getting no rain. What do we do? Let's just sacrifice 200,000 people. Maybe that'll work. I don't know if getting rid of Dustin Perry is going to get it set, but we got to do something. We got to do something, Sage. Who are you most concerned with when it comes to the offense or the defense? Who are you are you concerned with the offense or are you concerned with the defense when it comes to the injury side of things? I'm only concerned with the defense. Right
I'm way more concerned about the defense. It's not even close. I'm way more concerned with the defense because it's
9 guys on the D line, and you got 9 guys right now in the secondary. 8 guys on the D line. That's huge, Sage. That's 17 fucking people. 28.
Yeah, 100%. Upton Stout, he's like the tooth fairy. I keep hearing these great stories about him, all that he's doing, but I haven't seen him. You know why? Because he's injured. He's injured, right? CJ West, a guy that you need to be a contributor on your D line. He's already injured. Your first round pick, the guy that's supposed to turn around your defense, set the edge, stop the run, maybe get out of the quarterback. I hear 1,000 things about this NASCAR package that they have planned for this guy. You know what? Can I just see him rush the quarterback once? Can I see him healthy once? That won't happen because he's injured, right?
Yeah.
And what the frustrating part about it, going back to the initial point, is do you know who's not injured right now? Christian McCaffrey, Trent Williams, Nick Bosa. Do you know who's always?
Yep. Fourth oldest roster in the NFL, Sage, and none of the guys I think are above 30. It's something crazy like that. So you're just thinking of the time bomb that can maybe be coming off when you actually get into real games and it's going to be actual physical football. Right now, we're just basically in two-hand touch stage. You're getting a little contact in practice, but that ain't shit. So it's scary, and it doesn't seem like it's going to get any better. The silver line is that nobody has been ruled fully out, but when you're looking at the teams that are going to be contending for a Super Bowl, because we brought it up a lot last year, kind of funny looking back on it. We were talking week 5, we're saying, hey, it's Super Bowl or bust. I don't care if you win a couple playoff games, we need a Super Bowl. And then you end up going 6-11. But if you're looking at this Niners team as a team that could win the Super Bowl, look at that D-line that's banged up right now. Look at that secondary. It's also a lot of young guys in there who are unproven. I just don't see holes like that on any of the contending teams like the Chiefs or even in the NFC with an Eagles or even a Commanders, Detroit. So that's my fear, Sage. That's why I'm a little bit concerned. I'm just seeing the injuries piling up, and I'm seeing a lot of holes in this team that these other teams that are going to be contending for the Super Bowl don't have.
I mean, the only team that it was similar to last year was the Lions. It seems like the Lions are the only team that maybe faces it where they're dropping guys left and right. I mean, you saw what it did. I think they, at one point last year, they were missing every starter on their defense. It was something crazy like that. Like
it was like the Book of Job for the Detroit Lions. It's just like, God, like, why are you doing this to us? Why do we deserve this? Like, Aiden Hutchinson's knee was in like 4 places. It's like, why? This guy was like having the best defensive year of all time.
Give it and take it away, Chase. But that's what, going back to that though, is that, like, knock on wood, everything in my house, that has yet to happen, right? It seems like they dodged the bullet with the Pooney injury. It seems like CJ West and Michael Williams should be back week 1. The only person who it seems like who got hurt during training camp that's questionable for week 1, that's going to be like a key contributor is Isaac Guerrero, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Jordan Watkins with that high ankle might miss.
High ankle sprains are always like 4 to 6 weeks, right?
Yeah. So I can't say like I'm too concerned. I am concerned. Like I don't want to dive into week 1. It seems like we're still a lifetime away from week 1, but that is going to be a tricky matchup, right?
Oh, dude.
Your favorite. Tough. That seems like the trap game of a lifetime where the sharpest better is dropping like 10 units on Seattle, 9:50 a.m. on, or whatever, 1:05 p.m. right before kickoff that Sunday. So I am getting a little nervous because it's compiling. Still nothing serious yet, but so at some point, right? Like if this, Chase, like we could keep going, not blaming anyone, but if this happens for the next 5 years, someone has to get shot or get fired, like one or the other. So something has to happen.
We got to take somebody out. Yeah, somebody needs to go. Somebody's got to fucking go, Sage. I'm with you there. I don't know if it's going to happen yet.
Maybe
Kyle's kept this guy since 2019. I mean, if this guy kept his job after last year, it seems like it's going to take a lot for this guy to go down. But something else that's a little bit concerning, Sage, when you're looking at this team, how injured they're getting before they get into real games, our bye week is week 14. So they're going to have to be rolling for 14 straight weeks when the season starts with an old roster. That's tough.
Chase, impromptu question here. You're not prepped for this. What do you think is the perfect sweet spot for a bye? Because I was looking at that and I was like, everyone loves having the late bye week, but sometimes I feel like it's bad because if your team's falling apart, the season could be far gone before you even have your bye week. So like, what do you consider the sweet spot for the bye week? Like 9 to 11, 10 to 12?
I'll be honest with you, Sage. I'm a guy where with this Niners team, they've been contending, right? They've been Super Bowl contenders. I'll take that week 14 bye. I'll take it because then you're getting that week of rest. You maybe got 2 games, and then if you're in a situation where you could rest the guys week 18, I feel like that's perfect. Because last year I saw a couple teams where they were riding 12 weeks straight right into the wild card round. That's not a great setup, but you're saying around week 9, huh?
I think like mid-season, a little past mid-season.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
I think last year we were like week 10, week 11, somewhere around there, which I thought was good, but then your season was already gone before it started. So sometimes it's not good.
Last year it didn't even fucking matter. I mean, we were donezo. Also, something that we didn't talk about, I feel like we did focus on the defense a little bit. We talked a little bit about Jordan Watkins, but what do you think is going to happen with the Juwan situation? Because I think that's the one injury that people are looking at. They're seeing calf. They're seeing that he's holding out for the contract. Do we expect him to be back week 1? Because I am confident with his offense. I'm confident that Brock Purdy, Kyle Shanahan are going to be able to get ready to go. But if you're telling me that it's going to be Jacob Cowing and Ricky Pearsall who are running at our wide receivers without Juwan Jennings, then I'm a little bit more concerned.
I'm going to be really concerned because it seems like nothing's going to come out from this, right? Like it's a foot, it's an ankle, whatever it could be. It changes every day. And we're not getting any news. We see the reports that he's in the facility. He's trying to practice. You have Kyle Shanahan saying it's not a financial reason. Take it as you will with Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, but I was about to say I can't trust anything Kyle Shanahan says, but go on.
If we have Jordan Watkins and Ricky Pearsall, I'm confident. But if you're rolling out Ricky Pearsall and Jacob Cowing week 1, it changes. It changes a lot. I think Juwan's going to be fine week 1. I am a little nervous that he's getting no reps in the preseason. It's not like this guy isn't Justin Jefferson. I mean, Jamar Chase has played the last 2 games for the Bengals. Like, these wide receivers, like, they should at least run a couple routes, right? Like, this guy isn't like all world talent. He's a great wide receiver 2 and elite wide receiver 3. But if we're relying on him, depending on him to be that guy, like, I'm not comfortable with him just rolling in week 1. Like, we saw what happened to Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk got off to the slowest start possible last year and then busted his knee. So I am nervous about that. Like, I want this guy back, and I can't believe anything I see. Like, I'm just going to get a notification one day that Juwan Jennings is practicing, and then Juwan Jennings plans to play week 1. If I had to bet my house on it, he's not holding out. He can't afford to hold out. That guy's playing week 1.
I think so too, Sage. I don't think this is injury related. I do feel like there is something contract related to why he's holding out. But these are all the things that are making us panic that are on the surface, right? But I feel like with the Niners, there are some below the surface things that have been in the back of all of our minds for a little bit when we think about this team. But what if Christian McCaffrey's not the same? Like, that's also something to be concerned with. Like, we're not for sure that Christian McCaffrey is going to be the same guy. Brandon Ayuk, Malik Mustafa, when they come back around midseason, are they going to be guys who can compete on the level that we've seen from them, right? Like, Brandon Ayuk's a guy that we're paying him $30 million a year. Is he going to be able to produce at that level? Is Malik Mustafa going to be able to take a step up from where we saw him come onto the scene as a rookie, but is he going to be able to be a leader in that secondary? There's just a lot of uncertainty, man. And that's why you got to be concerned for sure. I put it at a 5. You're at 7.5 though, really.
Who's injured, what it's looking like, how the history of the Niners injuries has gone. I'm at a 7.5. I'm at a 7.5.
And I think we were both guys who said that this is a Super Bowl contender. I'm not betting it, Sage. I'm telling you, I'm not betting it right now.
I was looking at the other.
I can't go there. I can't be the homer who's just expecting everything to hit, everybody to stay healthy. This is concerning. What's been happening the past couple of weeks?
Well, without a doubt, it's every day something new. I mean, the guy who's showing flashes in your receiving core, Jordan Watkins, someone who you're so excited about. Okay, now he's hurt, right? So it's just like, that's like your first young guy gone on the offense. Then here comes this undrafted rookie running back, Corey Kiner. We like what he's doing. It seems like he's going to be the guy right behind McCaffrey. Now he's hurt, right? So it's like, as soon as you get excited about one of these young guys in camp, Upton Stout, apparently he's glue. He's hurt. Your first round pick, he's hurt. CJ West, the guy I've been banging this desk for, saying that he's going to be the guy to improve the 49ers run defense. He's hurt, right? Like Marquise Siegel, like, put him in bubble wrap, right? Like, wrap him in bubble wrap and don't put him onto the field until the season starts at this point. Alfred Collins, you could go out there and you could play.
It's getting there. Okay, so I think I'm going to cap this combo off with a positive comment.
Yes.
If we go in with this banged up roster and we win week 1, the next 3 weeks are pretty fucking easy, Sage. I mean, they're right. I mean, you're looking at the NFL.
We're looking ahead to week 2 and 4.
No, I know, but I'm saying every team in the NFL, they get paid too, right? You always hear that saying, but have you seen the Saints roster this year? Have you been seeing what they've been looking like? I think the Niners right now are favored by 7 on the road. And then I forgot the next couple games, but we know that a topic with this team has been the schedule. After that Seahawks game on the road, it's a pretty easy 3 weeks after that.
You want me to
so if you could start off while you're banged up and get off to a 4-0 start, that might set you up pretty perfectly for the rest of the year. I will say that. That is something to look out for.
After week 2, you have your home opener versus the Cardinals, home for the Jags, then you go to LA for Thursday Night Football. So those first 4 weeks, if you could get out of week 1, it's doable.
Okay. Funny question right now. Would you rather be the Niners with 28 people on your roster injured, or would you rather be the Rams who have a 37-year-old quarterback with a back issue and nobody knows what the fuck's going on?
Oh, but did you take into consideration that they have Sean McVay, the second coming of Bill Belichick?
Sage, I asked you a question. I just want an answer. I don't want to.
I'd much rather be the Niners.
Question.
I'd much rather be the Niners.
I think so.
And that answer is strictly Brock Purdy.
It's strictly Brock Purdy, but I think that's a big deal for the Rams, and that's going to impact what we're doing too. I mean, that's in our division, and you got to say we're both pretty high on the Seahawks, but if we're looking at the competition with the 49ers in the NFC West, you're going to have to look to the Los Angeles Rams, and that's a big question mark. But All right, Sage, let's get into the next topic. So we're not going to lie, people. We're a multi-platform podcast. We got a TikTok set up, so we wanted to make a topic that is going to kind of go on to what we just talked about, but it's going to be non-injury related. So we're going to do our 3 biggest fears when it comes to the 49ers 2025 season. What are the things that are lingering in the back of our heads, our fears that could potentially come up and wreck the season, wreck the potential Super Bowl hopes for the Niners? Sage, I'm a gentleman, so I'm going to give you the first pick. Are we going to go one pick next 2, or are we just going to go offsetting? I don't know how you like to roll it.
No, let's go snake. Obviously, we're going to go. There's 2 of us, but we're going 1-1-1-1.
Okay, all right. No. I mean, I was the guy who gave you the first pick. Now you're not letting me get next 2. Go ahead, Sage. Go ahead.
Okay, my number one concern, and I think this should be everyone's top concern, is that the rookies aren't ready to contribute right away or throughout the season. I just think you have punted on basically all of free agency. You didn't bring in many free agents. I mean, you trade for Bryce Huff. That was a big signing, or that was a big trade. But you let a lot of guys go in your secondary. You let your second linebacker go because you have faith in D Winters. You draft Nick Martin. You draft a bunch of guys in your secondary who you're expecting to have a big role. On that D-line, you draft CJ West. You draft Alfred Collins. You spend your first-round pick on Michael Williams. 2 of them are already hurt, and I don't want to call him a bust, but Alfred Collins through 2 preseason games looks as big of a bust as you can look through 2 preseason games.
He's doing his best to try to be a bust right away. I'll tell you that. It's quick, but he's doing his best to be labeled a bust right now.
And on the offense, right, you need some contribution from a guy like Jordan Watkins, from some running backs like Corey Kiner, but we talked about it earlier. It's all about the defense. And if the rookies aren't ready to contribute on this defense, you could be looking at a similar situation from last year, if not worse, because some of your talent walked out the door and you didn't replace it. You're trying to replace it with these rookies and they're all hurt, right? CJ West is hurt. Mike Hell's hurt. Upton Stout's hurt. Corey Kiner's hurt. Jordan James is hurt. Jordan Watkins is hurt. You have 5 rookies injured already. So I am just nervous that you need contribution from these rookies and you're not going to get it. That is my biggest concern.
Good pick, Sage. I will say that was a little broad. I kind of had a more specific one onto you. I'm not going to pick it, but I'm just going to kind of follow up with it. I brought up that D-line. I said the rookies on the D-line don't show up and they kind of bust out. That was a big concern for me. But Sage, my pick, there's one obvious one, but we already brought it up a little bit. So I'm going to say that a concern in the back of my head right now is what if Juwan just doesn't hold the end out? Or what if he doesn't end the holdout? Sorry. What if Juwan Jennings is just like, you know what? I need to get paid. This is going to be the biggest leverage situation that I have. I'll lose the money, and I'm just not going to show up for the first 4 weeks of the season if they're not going to pay me my money. That's going to put the 49ers offense in a tough spot. You're going to have to rely on guys like Jacob Cowing and Jordan Watkins, who are unproven, but also they're injured at the moment. So you need a quick jump start to the season. And if you don't have Juwan Jennings out there, that could be very bad. So that's one of the biggest fears going on in the back of my head, Sage. What if this nightmare does not end with Juwan and he just decides to go petty?
Yeah, you need him. You need a big receiver. I mean, you have speed, you have route runners, but you do need some size in your receiving core. Brock last year, I mean, he loved to throw it up to Juwan. It seemed like, it didn't seem like Juwan was his guy. Juwan was the leading receiver out of the receiver unit in targets, receptions, and yards. He took that step forward that everyone who watched Juwan watched the Niners. They knew who this guy was. They knew what he was about. Would have been the Super Bowl MVP had they won that Super Bowl versus the Chiefs. Third and Juwan. You need that guy there. I know there's been some trades there, but if he just holds out and you just lose him as a contributor, then it's bad.
So I will say this one thing as well, too. It seems like we all saw Juwan as the wide receiver who's willing to block, right? He's the team guy. What if he's just like, fuck you? Like, I've been doing all this work for you guys, and now you're not going to give me some money, when last year everything fell to shit and I was probably the guy who put up the best season. I think that it's more of a possibility than we think. I really do.
I think he was 7th in run blocking efficiency last year as a wide receiver. So you definitely need it. He impacts both ways. He's not George Kittle, but he has that sort of aura to him, right? Where he impacts the run game, impacts the pass. Chase, my next pick, my big concern, and this is primarily circled around Christian McCaffrey, but it trickles down to the other guys that we were talking about, is that your historical contributors might be a little bit past their prime, right? Like we're holding on, we're waiting, right? Like it's kind of like Trent Williams. He can't be great forever. Like, can he just be great forever? Like, can he be like,
I feel like he might be. I mean,
like
I don't know.
Tom
He's
Brady?
one of the
Like,
guys where it's like, maybe.
Like, can he just be this great forever? Christian McCaffrey coming off the injury. Can he still be Christian McCaffrey? George Kittle, I'm a little less concerned about, where he's kind of just like, I feel like as long as he's out there, he's going to be a superstar in the run, in the pass. And then Nick Bosa, right? Who's kind of starting to get hurt a little bit more, but can he just be out there? Can he contribute, be out there for a full season? We mentioned it with all the injuries. These are the 4 guys who you're worried about the most, but they you haven't been putting them out there, so they've been healthy. I'm nervous that as the season goes along, they're not going to be contributing as much as they have in the past, whether it's they're starting to get injured a little more or they're, starting to decline a little bit more.
Sage, we're the 4th oldest team in the NFL. That's definitely a big concern, and I'm hoping for the best. All those big guys on our team, we love them. So to see them age before our very eyes when we need them to perform would be heartbreaking. Definitely a big fear. Sage, you're not going to like this one. I'm just going to preview this. You're going to come back so hard at me, but Sage, one of my biggest fears is, what if Robert Saleh is just a fraud?
Fuck you.
What if he's just a fraud? I mean, we look at Robert Saleh, what he did as the defensive coordinator for the 49ers. Let's be frank. He was the coordinator for 4 years. He had one good year, Sage. The only year where his defense was really elite was that 2019 year, and you look across that defensive roster, it was stacked. It was almost at a point where you could give it to me or you could give it to you, and we could have made that defense a top 10 defense. He goes to become the head coach of the New York Jets. And Sage, I think he was, let's see right here, 20-36. He was a terrible head coach. It was a complete train wreck. And what if it just continues where we have some limitations on this defense, we have some holes on the interior D-line, we have a very young secondary, and whatever Saleh is able to do, he's not going to be able to fix it, and you're going to get another bottom half defense. Sage, that's one of my biggest fears, that maybe Robert Saleh is just not the guy that we think he is.
We don't need to, jump into the past, but that 2020 defense for what he had was good. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. They were 11th in points per game, top 10 in yards per game. And
I'm just posing the question.
Coming on.
What the guy is not the fix that we all think he is.
I will say this is a prove it year. Like, can you be the guy where maybe, you're not going to have a top 10 defense if you have all these injuries, but can you at least in like big moments get a stop? Can you get the other team off the field, right? Like you've seen it historically sometimes with the Chiefs, with the Patriots, like although they don't have the best personnel out there, they have some good defensive minds who can generate a pass rush, in big moments, get to the quarterback, get a stop when you need to get a stop. So I will say that he can prove it this year. Like he can make a name for himself if this defense is injured, if they're missing some key contributors, like, hey, I am one of the top guys. Like Chase Corrick can go fuck himself and maybe he'll write a book about it. Chase,
I don't know if he's getting hyped up. If he's getting hyped up on the sideline and we're getting ripped through, not going to be as hyped about it. Going to be questioning him.
So, Chase, it seems like neither of us are going to do the injury talk. I know we kind of hit on it earlier. I feel like
this is no injuries. This is no injuries.
Yeah.
So, we've dealt with the injuries. We talked about the injuries for 25 minutes. We're going to talk about it up until week 1. This is not injury related.
So I had this actually at 5, but I need to kind of combat Chase right here. And I'm moving this up to my 3. I'm going with Kyle Shanahan, game management. I just think that this guy, and game management is not just, clock situations, 2-minute drill, which he's been terrible at, fourth quarter when you're trailing, which he's been terrible at. It's how are you going to use your personnel? Can you kind of like ease Christian McCaffrey into this offense? Like, can you not just give the guy 30 touches a game? Can you make it so that Brock Purdy's getting the ball out quicker so that he's not just getting, lit up behind this, call it what it is, sketch O-line? Like, can you make it so it's not just a pass it to the Italians offense where you can kind of spread the joy and that your main contributors aren't just getting absolutely rifled when they try to, just complete a week, that Brandon Ayuk isn't getting killed going over the middle. So can Kyle Shanahan manage this roster? Can he sort of, manicure like around the rough spots and get, a top 5 offense again, like what he's been known for? Can he get this run game going without having to run Christian McCaffrey into the ground? get some contribution from these other guys. See what we got in Jacob Cowing. See what we have in Jordan Watkins. Make it so that you're not just relying on 2-3 guys like you have been in the past.
I get where you're coming from, Sage. We all know that Kyle Shanahan, the big rep with him is that he has a quarterback-friendly system. So when it comes to game management and management on the scheme and everything, I feel like he's pretty great in that. But what I will say that concerns me with Shanahan is that, like you brought up, we've seen what he's done with Christian McCaffrey ever since he got his new gadget in 2022. He runs him into the ground. A lot of people were very upset, thought that, probably correctly, that McCaffrey's injury last year was largely due to the fact that he overused him a little bit in those 2 years. You got an aging roster across the board with guys like Trent Williams, George Kittle. You've also shown that you don't like to play rookies. You don't like to put rookies into big-time situations. You got some guys who can make an impact, like with Jordan Watkins at wide receiver and Jordan James at running back. You need to figure out how you're going to balance the carries with McCaffrey, and are you going to be able to rely on guys who haven't been able to produce like a Cowing or a Watkins in the past game? So I agree with you, Sage. Kyle Shanahan definitely has some questions to answer, and it's largely due to the management side of things.
I mean, the first 4 guys behind Christian McCaffrey on the depth chart in terms of running back are all out now, right? You lost Connor, you lost Jordan James, you lost Isaac Guerendo, and then I'm missing.
I like Isaiah Guerendo better.
Isaac Guerendo, and then you lost Patrick Taylor Jr.
Yeah.
So you're 4 guys who are supposed to be backing up McCaffrey. That's why Jeff Wilson's in town. So I'm nervous. Because I think if that's a situation where you're going, where your RB1 week 1 is McCaffrey and your RB2 is Jeff Wilson Jr., like, get ready to learn Christian McCaffrey. Like, get ready for 30, 35 touches week 1 in Seattle.
Something that I found crazy, Sage, Pat Taylor separated his shoulder. Shanahan's getting asked about it. He's like, yeah, he'll probably be out for a week. Could you imagine one of us getting suited up and it's like, my shoulder just got torn and separated like into 2 pieces? Give me a week and then throw me into the line of scrimmage against the Seahawks. Like, are you kidding me? These guys, I will say, throughout all the criticism, you probably saw a couple of TikToks. I was taking some shots at our boy Deebo Samuel. These guys are warriors. Definitely got to give them that. Sage, I'm going to get a little bit ahead of myself with my last fear to cap us out here. But if you're a 49ers fan, if you've been around this entire Kyle Shanahan period, this has got to come up in your mind. My last biggest fear is, what if we're up in a Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes? Like, what if it comes down to a situation where everything goes right and the injuries start to tail down a little bit? We get a healthy roster. We take advantage of the easiest schedule in the NFL. Maybe even get the 1 seed, home field advantage throughout. Make it back to the Super Bowl. We see 15 in yellow and red, and we're up by like 10 in the second half. And he starts roaring back. It's like I wake up with cold sweats, like at nighttime, like, no, run the ball. Kyle, run the ball. Trey.
It's like
Trey,
Cartman,
okay,
with
Trey.
Cartman with the Beijing Olympics.
Yeah, like that's what I was going for. But like, that's one of my biggest fears, is that a third time the motherfucker comes back on us in the Super Bowl. There's no coming back from that. You almost feel like there's maybe an opportunity to get back a little bit at Patrick Mahomes, but if it happens 3 times, it's just over.
I thought, after the second
Make
one,
a documentary on it. It's done.
I mean, we're the reason that this guy is like in the GOAT talk. Like, if we just like shut it down in the 4th quarters of those games, like, this guy's like kind of viewed as a joke, damn near. Like, you're the greatest statistical quarterback to start your career, but you're 1-4 in the Super Bowls if the Niners just took care of you. It's kind of sad, man. It is really sad. Like, I would be scared shit. Like, I'd almost rather be trailing. Like, is that like a crazy take? Like, I'd almost rather go into the 4th quarter trailing, because if you lose, then it's not as heartbreaking. But the 2019 one was just like, what the fuck happened? It was like I got roofied. Like, I was just like,
it's like you wake up and then you're just seeing them with the Lombardi. It's like, wait, hold on. What happened?
The Damian Williams, and he was running
3rd and 17. Like, 3rd and 17.
The punt. Jesus. I thought that was a good list, Chase. Honestly, we kind of touched on the injuries. We didn't get into it with our 6 here, but I feel like we hit on all the main ones. If you have any other ones that we missed, like if we're missing any big ones, email it to us. Maybe we'll bring it up on the next show, or drop it in the comments right now if you're here.
Yeah, I'm seeing Biggie the Real Deal. Biggie the Real Deal. If you got any 49ers concerns coming into the year, let us know. Max Steins, Naj, we're also seeing you guys. Give us some of the concerns, throw them in there. We'll maybe throw it up. But, Sage, we're going to get off the Niners for a little bit, right? So this has been one of the biggest topics, I think, of the past couple weeks that 49ers fans are talking about that's around the NFL, and it's only going to heat up. I mean, we're coming up against the Chargers on Saturday in the last preseason game. We know who the third-string quarterback for the Chargers is right now. It's the third overall pick, Trey Lance. He's lit it up in a couple games, Sage. I think more than anything in that Hall of Fame game, really impressed some people with his running ability, hit a couple deep passes. So I think that it's going to be a good question of, did we mess up a little bit? Did the 49ers fuck up the Trey Lance situation? You have some people going crazy saying that he's better than Brock Purdy. You got the other side saying, maybe it's not that crazy, but we definitely did mess up the situation a little bit. Where do you stand on that after seeing what Trey Lance looks like these past 3 preseason games?
If by mess up the situation, you mean that trading up to get him, then yeah, they messed it up. The only thing that they did wrong was trade up to get him. Chase, I have seen nothing from this guy that's made me change the way I thought when we got rid of him. Are people watching these games? He's 27 for 49. He has a 55% completion percentage, right? Like Anthony Richardson looks at that and scoffs, right? He is 6 yards per attempt, which would have ranked dead last among qualifying quarterbacks last year. 296 pass yards. I get it. 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, 1 good game, 1 mediocre game, and 1 average game. Like, are people actually watching this, or are they just clinging to the takes they made during the pandemic and trying to prove that they were right here? Are they just seeing the clips on Twitter of him throwing dimes down the field and just ignoring everything that's in between? Because if you actually watch these games, he looks like a below average backup quarterback. He cannot be a starter in this league. I don't care what I'm looking at.
Yeah, Sage. What always concerned me with Trey Lance is his ability to throw in the pocket. Can he be consistent? Can he hit those tight window throws? And I mean, I'm looking at it right here. He's going up against second and third stringers, 7 of 15 against the Saints, 7 of 14 against, let me see right here, the Rams, 60 passer rating, 75.6 passer rating against the Rams. And everybody's bringing up his running ability. Sage, this guy still doesn't look quick. It's not a situation where his running ability is such an advantage that it's like a Malik Willis where you could throw little gadget offenses in there to make it work and it'll win you football games. He just doesn't have that ability as a runner. And in the pass game, he just doesn't look natural. And are you going to rely on this guy in the red zone? Do you think he's going to be able to thread those tight window throws? Are you going to pay this guy $55 million a year like you did with Brock? Like, obviously you're not now, but for the people who think that if you gave Trey Lance the opportunity that he'd be able to prove that he's on that level, come on now. Who you fooling? I just don't see it. But it's going to, Sage, get ready for this conversation because it's going to be coming up the next 4 days, and you're going to be hearing some outrageous takes. We just need to make sure that we're videotaping it all so we could throw it back on people.
Chase, it's so funny because he's being more discussed in Niners circles right now than he is in Charger circles because it's like a certain demographic of Niners fans who were anti-Jimmy G, anti-Purdy, and they're trying to prove like, see, told you, like, look at this throw to Trey Harris down the sideline. Like we called it. We said Kyle Shanahan messed up. Like the tweets that are hysterical. Trey Lance just needed a real coach. Trey Lance, 3 weeks with Jim Harbaugh. And look at this. He's one of the most accurate passers. 55% completion percentage. Give me a break. Chase, you know what my granddad used to tell me? You can't
What did
wake
he
up.
tell you, Sager?
You can't wake up a man who's pretending to be asleep. You can't. So these people who are just pretending like this guy's the shit, there's no reasoning with them. You can't argue with a fool because they're just going to act like, oh, look at this throw. They're going to point to the highlights and they're just going to deny the truth, deny the reality that this guy's mid as a backup and can never be a starter in this league.
Yeah, so Sage, I think that this is something that we see in society, right? Where whenever you get to, like, you see people and they're unable to just tell the truth when they really care about someone, right? We see this a lot with parents and their piece of shit kids. We see this a lot with girls and their piece of shit boyfriends. Sometimes they're just not good, right? Like, for example, the movie Tenet. A lot of Christopher Nolan fans try to tell me it's not a shitty movie. If I didn't enjoy the movie and I had to watch a YouTube video to understand what the fuck the ending meant, it means it's a shitty movie, right? Like with Trey Lance, if I've seen him play football for 5 years and he sucked the entire time and he's been a third string quarterback on every single team that he's been on, it probably just means that he's a shitty quarterback. So I don't get why there doesn't have to be a what if with certain things, right? We don't have to do a deeper dive into the tape or look at it a different way, try to see it from a different perspective. Sometimes things are just the way they are. And I think that's just Trey Lance is not a good quarterback and never will be. That's just me, though.
It's like betting the under, Chase. While everyone's taking the hype, like I'll sell them my stock on anything I had on Trey Lance, because 10 times out of 10 with a guy like this, you're going to be right. The reclamation projects, like they were starters. Their teams actually believed in them. They didn't give up on them. They weren't on their third team as the third overall pick before turning 26. This guy, like Kyle Shanahan, I bet you he knows a thing or two. The Dallas Cowboys, whatever they've been, like I bet you they know a thing or two. They both brought him in. They saw something. He's not even the backup for the Chargers. Like it's Taylor Heineke.
Taylor Heineke looks like shit.
Yeah. The guy from Clemson, DJ Ugalele, I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. He looks good.
I think you did a good job on that one, actually.
Yeah, he looks good in this system. So I get it. Jim Harbaugh, he made Colin Kaepernick look good. He made Alex Smith look good. He's making Trey Lance look good against a bunch of guys who are going to be in that 40U football league in about a year or two. But I'm not buying it. You can keep trying. You can keep trying to, say that you were right, stand on your take. Chase, you can't wake up a man who's pretending to be asleep. Chase, have you seen that clip, though, of the 40U football guy on the sideline?
I have. They're getting hyped up.
And now you got to
see the internet. I mean, it's the internet. Nothing surprised me anymore. But when I saw that, I'm like, this is pretty embarrassing. I mean, you had the guy, he was wearing the Saints jersey with the Ravens pants, right? And he's like talking shit to the people on the other sideline. It's like, dude, look yourself in the mirror a little bit. But hey, I'll say this. Kyle Shanahan's going to scheme up some shit to try and make sure Trey Lance doesn't get into that game and light him up. He's like, Saleh, I'll tell you this. I love you. I trust you. I want the dogs out there. When Trey Lance is on the field, I want to rush the shit out of him. I've seen him practice for 3 years. He cannot react well to this. I want you to do this every single snap. He's for sure going to have a little bit set up to make sure he doesn't get boned by Trey Lance.
1,000%. I mean, you're going to get the alert on Saturday morning. Nick Bosa activated. CJ West playing. Micah Williams will make his debut with the 49ers. You're going to see everything. Like Ronnie Lott is coming out of retirement to play today. They're going to send the house at him, and they have everything that they need on him. They have all the tape in the world.
It's like, wow, I'm actually kind of surprised Nick Bosa didn't play the first couple possessions. Instead, he opted to play the start of the second half when Trey Lance came into the game. So I think you're going to see some shit. I think that even though he probably does root for Trey, it's like, you're not going to do it against me, right? After you basically had the most embarrassing part of my tenure drafting you. I'm not going to then trade you and have you roast me when you come back.
I kind of did a 180. I was rooting for him when he left. Now, like, the fans have just been so insufferable. I don't understand. If you're a 49ers fan and you refuse to just accept Brock as your quarterback, you're just an idiot. They just paid this guy. He's literally proven everything about him that you thought he couldn't do wrong, right? Like, he can't throw down the field. Actually, he leads the league in, 25 plus yards completions 2 years ago, has the most average yards per attempt. Like, he's doing everything. You saw the tape against the Raiders, throwing dots, absolute dimes, throwing with anticipation to Ricky Pearsall. Stuff that not every starting quarterback in the league can do. And for whatever reason, they refuse to put their arms around the guy. Whatever it may be, you know why? They're holding on, clinging to the takes they made when we were all wearing masks and we couldn't go out to the grocery store. So you can be that, live in the past, whatever. It's not an enjoyable life. So enjoy doing it for the next 6-7 months, and then he'll be out of the league.
So you know what? We'll just call them Trey stands, because it's going to be coming up for the rest of the week, maybe even, for the rest of the year if he is successful at some point. So we'll just label them as Trey stands. Sage, to cap out the show, I'm going to introduce something that I've been cooking up for the people. So I don't know if people are on the internet, they see what's been going around. For some reason, there's these lists going around about the best movies of the 21st century, the best albums of the 21st century. So I was thinking, I'm like, fuck it. Let's just do the best Bay Area athletes of the 21st century. We're going to release 15 to 11. Sage, I was thinking about doing top 10, but there were a couple names that would have been left out where I'm like, it just wouldn't feel right to not include them at all. So I figured to go with 15. So All right, I will say this. So a little bit of a preamble into this list. It's only going to be what they do in the 21st century. So, for example, right, like a guy like Barry Bonds, who he's going to be on the list. It's only what he did in the 21st century. So I'm not counting anything before 2000, and I'm not counting anything that you didn't do for the Bay Area team that you were on, right? So if you had 10 seasons where you were a 9-time Pro Bowler for, let's just say, like the Green Bay Packers,
like Randy Moss,
I'm not going to count any of those years. I'm only going to count what you did on the Niners. So that's basically the two things that I want to kind of introduce a little bit. But Sage, at number 15, we have a guy who's going right now. We got a 49er. We got a new dad. I got Christian McCaffrey at number 15. Sage, I think a lot of people are going to shun this pick because he's only realistically been on the Niners for about 2 years. But what you saw right when he came into that 2022 team, ever since he's been on the team, Kyle Shanahan has basically ran the entire offense through him. That 2023 year, I think he had over 2,000 yards of scrimmage, 21 touchdowns, was the offensive player of the year. And I got to say it, I think it's the best 49er season that I've ever seen. And I just felt like he had to be on the list. Also, as a little bit of a nugget, he introduced the Bay Area to Olivia Culpo. Thank you, Christian McCaffrey. And he's going to come in at number 15. Your thoughts?
Who's that?
Who's who?
Olivia Culpo. Who's that?
Sage, I know that you have a girlfriend. I know that you're trying to be a respectable guy, but stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. So, you know exactly who Olivia Culpo is.
So this is Chase's list, just like a little, disclaimer. So I know the 15. I don't know the order. So I'm getting it as you guys are getting it. I had McCaffrey at 14. I see this how you see this. Impact, right? Second to none. From being on the team, if you want to say like a singular season, I'll take Christian McCaffrey's 2023 with damn near any other season that's not Steph Curry's 2022 or the unanimous MVP in 2015. I mean, the whole team, right? When they traded for him, flipped. He was productive with Jimmy Garoppolo. He was productive with Brock Purdy. He goes out last year. The red zone offense falls apart. The creativity in the offense falls apart. He's the ultimate toy. I mean, he's been a joy to watch. 2023, I scoffed at it when he said it's been the best season because it was the best season, but it hurt the most because, God damn it, that team should have won a Super Bowl. They had the best offensive player. They had a great defense. And it just hurts, Chase. But I see this as you see it. I think McCaffrey at 15 is a fine place for him.
I mean, Sage, when you're making a list like this, you can't put emotions into it. You can't bring the hurt. You just got to bring the cold, hard facts. And Christian McCaffrey, that was the best 49ers season I've ever seen. So he had to be on the list for me.
What is the how do you quantify the impact of Olivia Culpo coming into the Bay Area? What is the facts there?
Icing on the cake. That's it. It's not in the batter. It's not in the actual cake itself, but it's a little something to get you into the top 15. I'm not going to lie. Maybe that's going against my manifesto, but I don't give a shit. So, number 14, Sage. You see him walking out with the boombox. He's been one of the leaders of this 49ers team ever since he came in 2020. You could argue that you've never seen an offensive tackle play as good as Trent Williams has in a 49ers uniform. So, at number 14, I got Trent, 3-time first-team All-Pro with the 49ers. And not only that, the leadership factor that he brings, he's always trying to hype up the quarterback. And like I said, I think that an offensive tackle has never played as good in the NFL as we've seen from Trent Williams over the past 3 to 4 years. He dealt with some injuries last year, right? And I think that there are some questions about where he's at in his career right now, but you can't question what he's done over the past 4 years. And just the fact that he is the one who makes those walkout videos sick. It's not sick if it's just a little Deebo Samuel with a Cole McKibbitz and a boombox playing Super Gremlin. Trent Williams is about 70% of that. It's because he's the biggest badass in the NFL. No one wants to go head-to-head with Trent, so I had to put him on the list. I have him at 14.
Yeah, I had him at 13, Chase. I feel like we're seeing this pretty evenly. Like you said, 3-time All-Pro since joining the Niners. Best left tackle of my lifetime.
Yep.
Has been an absolute just dog since he joined the team. I mean, rewind 3 years ago now. Yeah, 3 years ago, NFC Championship game. Niners are basically getting punked. They're down to playing Josh Johnson as their quarterback. We look like, kind of bitches. What happens? Trent Williams solos. The entire Eagles team just goes, starts picking a fight with whoever wants it. Absolute dog. I mean, I love him. We've embraced him as one of our own. I'll only remember him as a Niner going forward. And he's the best left tackle of his era. He's a Hall of Famer, no doubt. And he's solidified an offensive line that would be probably a bottom 5 to 10 offensive line without him since the moment he got here. Couldn't move the ball whenever he's out. So I have no issue with this pick. You got to give a guy like Trent Williams that respect, even though he hasn't really been here his entire career.
Love Big Trent. Got to have him on the list. Sage, at number 13, we have a homegrown guy.
Okay.
We have a homegrown guy. Drafted him right away out of the Ohio State University. He's been the defensive rookie of the year. He's been the defensive player of the year. I went with Nick Bosa. I think he's personally one of my favorite 49ers. And I think if you really look back at the history, Sage, I brought this up a couple pods ago, but other than Ronnie Lott, he's the best defender the 49ers have ever had. He's that great. And I feel like Nick Bosa gets a lot of, disrespect the past couple of years because he got that big contract. And you're looking at the top guys in the NFL as position, guys like Myles Garrett, TJ Watt. And yeah, he's maybe not on that level, Sage, but who the fuck is in NFL history? I don't think that you could put a lot of guys over those two when it comes to guys rushing off the edge. So Nick Bosa is one of the biggest difference makers in the NFL. If he goes out in week 1, Sage, this entire season's done. He's that impactful to the defense, and he has been, I think, ever since he's got here. So I had him at number 13. I think a big part of why I had him above Trent is because I value his position a little bit more than offensive tackle.
So I have him at 12. Chase, so the guys you have at 15, 14, 13, I have at 14, 13, 12. So we're only going to disagree on who's at 15 here. But I like it, man. I like everything you said. What I favored over Trent is the homegrown factor and the fact that he has that DPOY with the Niners. I think that's the biggest difference maker. He is your defensive line. Since he's gone here, flip that defense. I mean, he was a godsend, right? Like John Lynch, God bless his soul. He's been doing God's work in the 5th, 6th, and 7th round. He couldn't mess up the Nick Bosa pick. You were at 2. You had to make that pick once you knew Kyler was going at 1. So a guy who's been here his entire career has absolutely brought just everything. Like since he stepped on the field as a rookie, has been a difference maker. Had those key plays, to start the year as a rookie. Your team starts 6-0, 7-0 in the playoffs, steps up. So how could you not have Nick Bosa on your top 15 list? I have him at 12. I think you said you have him at 13.
Sage, he may not like Black Panther. He may not be a fan of Beyonce's music, but if you're a 49er fan and you don't like Nick Bosa for some of the stuff that he says politically, I don't want to be in the same room as you. He's a badass football player. He's a good representation of the Niners. One of my favorites. I got him at number 13 when it comes to best Bay Area athletes of the 21st century. Sage, this is the one that we brought up a little bit beforehand, and you disagree with me putting him on the list. So I think that I think he's going to be your number 15.
He is.
But this could be an individual award as well. This is not just for professional sports teams. I got Andre Ward at 12. Straight out of Oakland, and I think he was ranked as the 7th best boxer by the Ring magazine for the entire 21st century, undefeated. One of the only guys that we've seen recently when it comes to the sport of boxing who has retired as a champion, has retired undefeated, gold medal in the 2004 Olympics in Athens. And I think why he gets put on this list, Sage, is that he had 8 of his fights at Oracle Arena. And he lost a lot of potential money. I think he lost a lot of potential just eyeballs by bringing a lot of his big title fights to Oracle and not just going to like a Las Vegas or who knows, maybe even to Saudi Arabia, getting that Saudi Arabian money. But the fact that he ended his career undefeated, he was one of the best boxers of his generation. He's straight from Oakland, and he represented it as well as anybody. I had to have him on the list. I have him at number 12.
I had E40 in this spot, Chase. All jokes aside. I get it. I get the merit.
Athletes, Sage. Come on.
I get the merit.
Don't play with me like that.
So, Chase, I will say, so I had him at 15, and if you just adjust our list for him, we have this in the exact same order. I guess you value the individual stats more. I did it like you said.
Seventh best boxer of the 21st
What have you done
century.
for the Bay is kind of how I looked at it. The fans, like everything around it. Like there's going to be a theme here. There's no Sharks on the list because San Jose, go fuck yourself, right? So I kind of
saying you're part of the show, San Jose. This ain't you're part of the show, unfortunately.
You'll get your 60 seconds eventually, but I don't mind having him on the list, but I have to put him on at 15 because the individual like stats, like the awards, like
because you're a hater. Because you're a hater.
Maybe I'm a hater, and I don't value boxing as much as you do, and I probably just didn't watch him as much as I watched everyone else. He's my 15. I can't hate on him for having him where you have him.
I feel like if I put him at 15 Sage, that would have been like a pity pick. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, I'll put Andre Ward at 15. He's very elite at a sports Sage. He's one of the best to ever do it, specifically in his division. Immaculate. I mean, he's undefeated, Sage. How can you put a guy at the bottom of the list when he's literally never lost in his career? So I had to give a little bit of respect to Andre Ward.
I'm curious if
straight
we go
from the town. We love that.
I'm curious if we go 4 for 4 here or 5 for 5 here. We're 4 for 4.
I think we might, Sage. So to a lot of the people who have been watching so far, they're thinking, okay, I get Andre Ward. I got 3 49ers. We also have the Giants. We have the Warriors. There's other teams going on, different athletes that haven't been guys that have been on this current 49ers team. Unfortunately, Sage, we got another 49er at 11. We got another 49er who's currently on the team. I've labeled him as my favorite 49er of my lifetime. I got George Kittle. I got George Kittle at 11, and he's a 6-time Pro Bowler, 2-time first-team All-Pro. I believe he's a 3-time second-team All-Pro. When it comes to George Kittle, there's just so many different ways that you could attack this, Sage, because I think that as a run-blocking tight end, there hasn't been a lot of better players in the entire history of the NFL when it comes to what you could do in the run game as a tight end. And in the passing game, you're always going to see George Kittle get compared with guys like Rob Gronkowski, Travis Kelce, and you're going to probably see that they have better numbers than him. But what you're not going to realize is that those guys had quarterbacks like Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. George Kittle's never really had an elite quarterback in his entire career, and he's broken receiving records as a tight end. He's, in my opinion, going to go down as one of the best tight ends of all time. And to cap it off, Sage, he's the emotional leader of this team. Whenever things are going wrong, you could always rely on George Kittle to come out with a Brock Purdy or a Jimmy G t-shirt on. And also what he does outside, just with the podcast game, and the personality really shines out. I think you got to take all of those into account when you're judging George Kittle as one of the best Bay Area athletes of this era. So I got him at 11, Sage.
Do you want me to tell you who I didn't have George Kittle here? I have George Kittle a little higher. Do you want me to tell you who I had here?
No, don't tell me who you had here. Tell me where you had him at specifically.
I have Kittle at 10. So we're right
okay,
there.
So you got him one spot ahead.
I have him one spot ahead. I mean, we're right there with him. Like, how could you not like George Kittle? I mean, I have it all right here. So 2-time All-Pro, 6-time Pro Bowler, just the absolute man since he came in. He's the personality of the team. He might not be the leader, so to speak, but he is the leader. Like, he's the spokesman. He might not be the leader, but he's the spokesman of the team. He's the guy that the fans like have their arms around. When you think of the 49ers, at least for me, he's the first person I think of. He's kind of embodied. He's been here from the start of like the team kind of being built. He was here through the shit. Still talented then, like you mentioned, with no good quarterback play, through the Beathard, through all the Jimmy G, to the Purdy, through even a little bit of Trey Lance. Been there from start to finish of the Shanahan regime. And he's just a guy. He impacts your team in the locker room, in the run game, in the pass game. How can you not love George Kittle? I a little bit more respect here, but I just had him one spot higher.
2017, Sage, you got to think about it. When John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan came into the mix in 2017, he was basically their first pick. That kind of jumped off the board, late round pick, one of those late round diamond in the rough. So this entire era basically started when they drafted George Kittle. So I had to put him above the other three when it comes to this current 49ers team. You had him one spot above, so you agree with me. But that's going to be it for this one, Sage. That was 15 to 11. I'm thinking just next episode, I'm going to come out, go 10 to 6, and it's going to be a lot more variety there. Sage, I honestly think that I hate to be a little bit dramatic here, but I think we're going to have some issues with each other after this list is released. It's going to get personal because when you get to the rest of this list, there's going to be memories. There's going to be championships. There's going to be legacies that are going to get dissected. And we're really going to have to compare, champions with champions, loved ones with loved ones. And it may get a little bit sticky. I'm not going to lie.
There's one guy I'm very curious to see where you have. I think you're going to have him at 10, but we'll see. We'll dive into it next episode.
We'll dive into it next episode. Sage, we kind of know what's going on with the Niners schedule coming up here. We got the last preseason game of the year against the Chargers on Saturday. We brought up the Trey Lance factor of it. Sage, there is a Jim Harbaugh factor to this as well. So I'm thinking that a good idea may be to do a little bit of a requiem on the Jim Harbaugh era. Maybe give you one more episode before the end of the week, but we're both working men. We got schedules. We'll see if we could try to fit that in for you, but if not, Sage, where can they find us?
You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, building up Twitter, TikTok, Red Note, YouTube. We're on Twitch. We're on Twitch. Shout out to Alarming Whatever, and then shout out to Biggie the Real Deal. So we're building up the Twitch following. Follow us there, like, subscribe, tell a friend about us if you like what we're doing. It helps. We see it. We see the returns coming. Huge. If you're a Niner fan, huge season coming. We're just going to be coming out with good content every week. I mean, we've been releasing stuff daily. So follow us, like, and share.
Sage, it's going to be a good season. We're going to go deep if we don't get injured. I mean, that is something that we talked about basically the entire freaking episode. Hopefully next time we come at you guys, we don't have a couple more starters drop like flies. But that's going to be it for this episode. Look out on all those platforms for new content coming out. But like I said, that's going to be it for the episode today, guys. We'll talk to you